Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, November 9th. Ian Cameron, we've got Dutch, and we got Billy Briz, who's going to be joining us Wednesdays moving forward here on the NBA Pub Hub, and we're ready. I hope everybody's refreshed from this election day, or I don't know why they had to take the day off the NBA for that, but it is what it is. And here we are back again today. And because of there being no games yesterday, the lights turned off for the association on Tuesday. We've got ourselves a 13-game packed NBA card on this Wednesday. So it's a loaded card, and we will start with a game starting actually in 90 minutes from now. A very weird start time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. We've got Dallas and Orlando. The Dallas Mavericks, 7.5 point road favorites, 214 the total in this game. Again, the early start, make sure you're aware of that. I mean, it is definitely a hurting Orlando Magic team going into this game from a personnel standpoint. Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, Gary Harris, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, and now Paolo Banchero, the rookie out of Duke, also out for this game tonight for Orlando. So they are fielding a very depleted, shorthanded rotation tonight for this game against Dallas. You're looking at a starting five tonight with Suggs, Franz Wagner, Chuma Okeke, Bol, and Wendell Carter. So that's what they're rolling out for the starting five. Dallas comes in here, obviously, looking to keep their solid. Certainly, Luka the Don is trying to keep his strong start going. They've played pretty good basketball. They've been winning games, but they've been winning games not comfortably. And that's probably the one concern you'd have in this spot is that are they going to be able to win by margin? They've won 4 in a row, but they've won by narrow margins. They just played Orlando at home recently and only won that game by 9 on their home floor. It ended up as a push. And since then, they beat Utah by 3, Toronto by 1, Brooklyn by 2. So this hasn't necessarily been we're going to beat this Orlando Magic team by a big number, but this is a rare instance where I did lay the 7 here with Dallas. I just find it's just going to be very difficult here for the Orlando Magic to hang around for 48 minutes with just how depleted they are at the moment. Dutch, are you liking anything here? Mavs, Magic.
Yeah, man, real quick. Salute to them real ones holding us down in the chat. Nets Bets, I see you, my man. Rizza, I see you. We got the ladies in the building. Tiffany and Tasha, the double T's. I see y'all. Appreciate you joining us. Everyone, if you would at this time, be sure to motherfucking hit the like button. Share the video. If you're not subscribed to Pub Sports Radio, well, goddamn it, do that as well. I like this game to start off the motherfucking day. I really did. And then but I like the big boy. I like that kid. I'm not going to kill his name. I like the Dookie boy. I like him a lot. I think he's kind of a man among boys, to be quite honest with you. I like his attitude. I like the way he plays basketball. So I was going to be on the Magic today because the Mavericks win basketball games, but they don't fucking cover. All right. The last 3 wins by a total of 6 points. 6 fucking points. The 4 of their wins have been less by 4 points or more or less. 4 points or less out of 4 to 6 wins. So, they should probably have a feel-good game against the Magic, but I look at it as, 56% of the bets on the Mavs, 92% of the money on the Magic. You know what I mean? So obviously this news could affect that a little bit. I wanted to be on the Magic. It's up to 8. I really like the look here for the Magic, but I'm gonna tread lightly here without the big boy in there. They got a lot of injuries, but I wanted him out there. Obviously, I like what I see from Bol. I like that kid, man. I think Magic's got some talent, but they're obviously leaps and bounds away. But how you feeling on this game, Billy? Good to see you too, Mark. Billy, the motherfucking kid in the building. Good to see you, bro.
I think the move here, man, is betting Dallas first quarter here, -2.5. Luka plays the whole entire first quarter for the Mavericks. Magic are going to be depleted a little bit with the depth. I kind of don't want to take the Mavericks full game, but I like Luka playing the whole entire first quarters, kind of like that Philadelphia angle that we take for the first quarters of like their star player playing against the backups and stuff like that. And you give me Luka against these guys. I think the Mavericks first quarter -2.5 is the play here.
Yeah, I see no Christian Woods too, but Hardaway's a go. So.
All right, like in Dallas early first quarter for Billy in this one. All right, let's go to Denver, Indiana. Denver 5.5 point road favorites, 235 being the total in this game. Should be a lot of points. I do like this game over the total. We've been talking about this with Indiana quite a bit. You know what's surprising about Indiana, and I know Ski's been on board the same theory with me, that with Miles Turner in, they are a little bit better defensively, a little slower, and then with Miles Turner out, they are a very worse defensive team and they play faster. But to be quite honest with you, even with Miles Turner back, they're still giving up a lot of points, and they're giving up bad field goal numbers in terms of the field goal percentage. I mean, this Indiana team is ranked 25th in the NBA field goal percentage defense, 30th in the NBA three-point defense, giving up 41% from the perimeter. That could be a little bit troublesome here when you factor in you're facing the Denver Nuggets, who, by the way, just happen to be number one in the NBA field goal percentage offense and three-point offense. So that's a troublesome matchup here for the Pacers. There's no question about that. When you look at the personnel going into this game, it looks like for Indiana, Duarte's still out. The only questionable of significance is Aaron Nesmith with the foot injury. Other than that, Denver looks pretty healthy. They've got a couple depth players, Ish Smith and Gillespie, the kid out of Villanova, who are out, but everybody's accounted for and ready to go here in this game. You look at the way the Denver Nuggets are starting to put it together a little bit. You know, they've won 5 of their last 6 games. They're starting to turn it up, kind of a little bit of a sleepwalk against San Antonio. They beat the shit out of the Spurs, and then they had to play them again in San Antonio, and they were kind of asleep for the first 3 quarters, and then they kicked it into high gear in the fourth quarter. I think the number's reasonable here. I would look at Denver, the road favorite, or nothing at all, as well as the over in this one. Dutch, anything here? Nuggets, Pacers.
Yeah, man, the Indiana motherfucking Pacers, bro. This I don't have a good read on this team. I will say I took it on the chin. Salute to you and the whole crew on Monday. You know, you guys were all over the Pacers against the Pelicanos. I did not see that. But then again, I didn't see this motherfucking Miles Turner. What the fuck? Like, it looked like Dirk Nowitzki out there. You know what I'm saying? Different version, obviously. But goddamn, he couldn't miss a shot, making all the free throws, all 3-pointers. Like, if he plays like that, I might have to start back in Indiana Pacers as well, but I don't know. Buddy Hield, they got a lot of streaky player. Halliburton's a stud. I guess, you know, I can't really trust the Nuggets here in this situation. I want to bet 235. I don't know if that number has creeped up a little bit, but I see nothing but points here. I pretty much agree with a lot of what you had to say, Bobano, but it's a tough game for me, man. Honestly, right now, it seems like from what I've seen them play against the Pelicanos, it seems like there's a lot of value here at 5.5 with the Indiana Pacers. Did I bet this game? No. So we'll go ahead and go pass it to motherfucking Billy, my man.
Yeah, lean towards the over here, 235, highest over under on the board today. Makes sense, though. 4-1 towards the over for the Nuggets' last 5 road games, and 12-5 towards the over for the last 17 games for the Pacers. So it seems like a prop game. Favorite prop of the day, though, is going to be Michael Porter Jr. over 2.5 3-pointers, minus 140. He's gone over this 3-point total in 8 straight games, so that's money in the bank. Tyrese Halliburton over 29.5 points and assists, minus 128. Seems like a good spot here against the Nuggets. Highest point total of the day. Liking a lot of props in this game.
The conundrum, I get I know there's people in the chat saying we got to ride this Pacers team. I took Indiana against New Orleans because they were rested. New Orleans was tired, and it was a wire-to-wire job. I don't like Indiana as much tonight. And in fact, that's why I'm leaning Denver. I can't in good conscience take Indiana tonight when they're the dead last defense against the 3, and Denver's shooting the 3-point shot the best in the NBA. I mean, that's just a matchup that's bad on paper. Like, if those stats play out tonight, Denver makes their threes and Indiana's as porous defending the perimeter as they've been, that's a problem for the Pacers tonight. That's why I'm off the Pacers tonight. It's a matchup thing for me. They're not defending the 3. Denver's just lighting it up from 3. So we'll see if that carries over to this game tonight. All right, we got Portland, Charlotte, with the Blazers here, 3.5 point road favorites, 219 the total in this game. This Blazers team, 7-3, you know, straight up, 8-2 against the spread this year. I mean, they have been cashing tickets for their backers, including the other night against Miami. I mean, Ski and I both agreed. We thought the Blazers were very live against Miami. They won that game outright, 110-107. A very good win. We just keep grinding, says Chauncey Billups. That's kind of who we are. To have a fourth quarter the way we had, one of the best fourth quarters we've had all year. I mean, this team has got some great momentum. There's no question about that. They've played some of the best defense that, you know, I think I've seen in a Portland team in a very long time. Josh Hart with the 3-pointer late in that game. Of course, now they've gotten healthier the last few games. But unfortunately, will that health carry over to tonight? There's a lot of questionables, but the good news is Lillard, probable. Anthony Simons, probable. Good news there. Jeremy Grant's the one that's a little bit more leery about his status, downgraded to questionable with an ankle injury. Jeremy Grant's been a nice piece, too, for the Blazers this year, and the same with the big in the 5 spot, the starting center, Yusuf Nurkic, also questionable tonight. So there are some concerns here in terms of the health of this Blazers team, no question. But Charlotte, on the other hand, still waiting for LaMelo Ball to get back. Gordon Hayward remains out. It's a Charlotte team that has been on a brutal run, 0-5 straight up, 0-5 against the spread. Their last 5 games, they just lose outright as favorites at home against Washington on Monday. That's not very good. I am concerned about who is maybe or maybe not going to play for Portland, but as long as Simons and Dame Lillard are in, I would only look at Portland here. Portland's been putting money in people's pockets. This number looks a little bit short, especially if we get Nurkic and if we get Jeremy Grant also playing tonight for Portland. So Blazers are nothing for me. Dutch, what do you think? Portland, Charlotte.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Rayhan. I see you, my man. That's a strong point too. This game is very interesting to me. They have the Pelicanos on deck tomorrow. Obviously, that could be a look ahead spot. They definitely going to bring it against these Pelicanos. But I believe the Hornets got someone on deck tomorrow as well. But man, this game fucking stinks. I'm not gonna lie to you. It just really do, bro. I'm like, why the fuck we should just be loaded up here on the Blazers? And now some players starting to get questionable who were probable yesterday. And the line has dropped from 4.5 to 3.5, but all the motherfucking money and everybody's on Portland Trail Blazers. So I'm just gonna sit back and cool on this one, man. I really want to be on the Blazers. I wanted to be. I was gonna be, and the shit just don't smell right. You know what I mean? It really don't. So I'm gonna have to pass this motherfucker right to Billy.
Yeah, the numbers are kind of saying a hard lean towards the under. 16-5 for the Trailblazers last 21 games overall. It's towards the under, and then last 7 for the Hornets has been 5-1-1. But I kind of don't want to be betting unders on Hornets basketball. I mean, they don't defend at all, but I don't see how they can score a little bit. Slight lean for Kelly Oubre over 2.5 threes, -136. He's going to be the guy shooting the shots for the Hornets. He's gone over this total 4 out of the last 6 games without Hayward in the lineup. But pass overall for me on this game.
All right, next up, we got the Houston Rockets and the Toronto Raptors. We've got Toronto 9.5, 10-point home favorites, 224 the total in this one. By the way, I just got to mention this now. This Dallas-Orlando game, they're hammering Dallas right now. It's 8.5 now. I'm seeing 9. So there's some serious money coming in on the Mavericks. So that's an interesting move here. That game starts in an hour. But as far as this game goes, Houston-Toronto, the Raptors up to 9.5, 10 now. In this game, there's some money coming in on the Raptors. This has that feel of that. You remember that Atlanta game? They didn't show up against Philly in the second of the 2 games against the Sixers. Joel Embiid didn't play. That's the game Tyrese Maxey went nuts. He had 42 points. Raptors they didn't show up that night. They weren't ready to go, and the Sixers took care of business. They weren't happy with that game. They came back against Atlanta, and they destroyed Atlanta. They were ready from the beginning. They got out to an early lead, and they never looked back. It was wire to wire. That's what this feels like to me for Toronto tonight. Wire to wire after losing to Chicago the other night. I'd look at a first quarter, first half, full game type of deal here with the Raptors tonight back home. I know in terms of their Siakam, he's going to be out, it looks like, once again tonight for the Raptors. But come on, this is the Houston fucking Rockets. I think he can handle taking care of business against this team without Pascal Siakam, especially when you look at they still have depth in the front court. With Scotty Barnes, this young kid, the rookie out of Arizona, Christian Coloco has been crashing the glass for them. They can handle this weak front court for the Houston Rockets and take advantage. And I think that defense turns it up tonight on them. Houston's been pathetic. I mean, what are they? 1-6 straight up in their last 7 games. Okay, they beat Orlando in their last game, but Orlando, as we just talked about, is depleted, beaten up to shit. So I don't want to give them too much credit for that. So this looks like a Toronto smash spot here. First quarter, first half, full game. I'll probably put a little bit more on the half in the game than the first quarter. The first quarter can sometimes be always a little bit tricky. What do you think here, Dutch? Rockets, Raptors?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Abel. Shout out to Money Murray. He's like in Toronto first half. Our guy LJ from H-Town. Salute to our guy like an OG. Over 2.5 steals plus 300. And I know that man's got a lot of steals so far in this season, averaging a lot of steals too. So getting a little plus money. But I know what I'm gonna do this motherfucking game. And I believe this is Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. Toronto Raptors. But me, I'm gonna back with this motherfucker.
All right. Yeah.
Backwood time. All right, Billy, what do you like here?
I'm right there with you, Dutch Backwood.
All right. Yeah.
All right, can we lay points with the Brooklyn Nets? They're playing the New York Knicks next up. Brooklyn 3.5-point home favorites, 220.5 the total in this game. I am still not ready to pull the trigger on Brooklyn at home or Brooklyn laying points at home. Flat out, I am not ready to go that route with this basketball team. Not yet. Last time we saw them as home favorites, they lost outright to Chicago. The time before that, Indiana. They won, but they didn't cover. They lost outright to Indiana. That was the final game with Nash before he got fired. Before that, they lost to Dallas in overtime, didn't cover at home. I mean, the problems with this team at the house continue. 2-4 straight up, 1-5 against the spread at home this year for the Brooklyn Nets. Yet the money, it has come in on them. Obviously, facing a Knicks team where it's been very much mediocre from them. We're not going to make it sound like the Knicks have been consistent, but the New York Knicks have won 2 of their last 3. They beat Philadelphia on the road, outright as small road dogs. Came back home the very next day, lost to Boston by double digits, then went back on the road, beat up Minnesota as dogs, 120-107. This team's actually starting to look like a team that's playing a little bit better basketball away from home lately, especially these last couple of games. So, the numbers drifting up on Brooklyn. I haven't bet the game yet. I don't know if I will, but no way for me laying points with Brooklyn. Knicks or nothing for me. What do you think, Dutch?
Yeah, man, I'm right with you here, Bobano, but I did lock in the 3 in the hooker, man. Come on, Tiffany. Let these Knickerbockers play some motherfucking game. The battle of NY, I think, man, I think, you're going to see a little, obviously missing Mitchell Robinson. I don't like that. They got this boy, Sims in there. They got Hartenstein off the bench. So I think they'll be all right. Obviously, the Nets got Claxton, and pretty much after that, it's really nothing. So, I think, Julius I don't expect this motherfucker to hit 8 threes, but as long as he can play a little bit better basketball, as I spoke on before, I want them to run the offense a little bit more through Jalen Brunson. He's coming off a good game. Hopefully they can continue that. But man, come on, man. The Knicks got to show up here. I mean, they really do. They are 13-3 ATS, last 16 on the road. They're 5-0 versus teams below 500. All right. Now they are 0-5 against teams that over 500, but against teams that are suspect a little bit like the motherfucking Brooklyn Nets, they seem to beat these teams. So you're gonna give me 3.5, which I believe again they're live to win. I think I have to bet that. So I do have a unit on the Knicks. Plus 3.5, and the Knicks are 14-5 ATS last 19 meetings versus Brooklyn. So Brooklyn does beat them, but the Knicks cover. I think this is a solid number here, and I think they're live to win the basketball game. Give me the Knicks plus 3 in the hooker.
All right, Dutch is grabbing the hooker with the Knicks plus 3.5. Billy, what do you like?
Yeah, no Mitch Rob for the Knicks, and Julius Randle's been balling of recent. ESPN primetime game. We're getting to the narrative streets here. Julius Randle's going to go over this 29.5 points and rebounds, minus 115. Spot that I loved the attack last year was Randle in those primetime spots. And we get the first one of the year right here against the Nets. They ain't got nobody down low. Claxton, Ben, I don't give a fuck who it is. Julius Randle, 29.5, minus 115.
That's a good look.
All right, that is. I think that's definitely a prop that's got a good shot. Really good shot. Yep. Absolutely, cashing in. Detroit, Boston. Next up, we got the Celtics laying a big number here, 13 at home, 226. The total in this game. Celtics, they've won 4 of their last 5. We'll see if they can keep that going here. I'm taking the ugly dog here, Detroit, believe it or not, and it's not easy to do it. This Detroit team is a mess right now, a little bit with the way they've played. They're only 3-8 on the year. They're entering this game stumbling a little bit, but you look at it, they were able to compete in one of the 2 games against Milwaukee, and then they got blown out the second one. Were good enough to beat Golden State. They coming off a win against OKC. And to be honest with you, with Boston, they play a Denver Nuggets team that obviously one of the better teams we think in the West coming up on Friday night. And when you look at these recent victories here for the Celtics, especially at home, not all of them have been by huge margins. The Memphis win, the Chicago win at home, they were 7.5-point favorites. They only won by 4. It's a hold your nose special because we know Detroit's got some issues right now, but boy, oh boy, it's a lot of points to be laying with the Boston Celtics here, in my opinion. And we'll see if they can handle laying this kind of points going into this game. Of course, it's still Danilo Gallinari and Robert Williams out for the Celtics. Not really much of a change there. I just get that sneaking suspicion Detroit just sneaks in to the side this number. It's just a a number. It's just too many points that I'm comfortable laying with Boston. Dutch, how about you here? Detroit, Boston.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. I see you, my man. Hopefully all is well. MMA Locker Room. Money Mills in the building. I see you, my man. Mad Stoney. Salute to you, bro. But yeah, back with this motherfucker.
All right. Yeah.
They're definitely an over machine, Boston. Not so much for Detroit. That's the concern if you're looking at the total here. Billy, what do you like here?
I like the Celtics team total over 119.5 at -114. Tatum and the Celtics have been great this year. Pistons worst defensive rated team in the NBA, giving up 116.2 points per 100 possessions. So I think Celtics have a good chance of going up and over that total at 119.5.
All right, team total overlook for Billy. That actually might be better. If you like Boston, it might be better with the team total than maybe laying this kind of points with them. All right, Utah and Atlanta. We've got the Hawks 4-point home favorites in the ATL, 228 to 229 being the total in this game. The Utah Jazz, they've definitely been a surprise. There's no question about that. You would have said to me, November the 9th, they're 9-3 straight up in ATS to start the year. I wouldn't have believed you, honestly. I mean, it's just been incredible what we've seen from Utah. Two streaking teams right now. I mean, Utah's gone 5-1 straight up, 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games. This Jazz team, and Atlanta has won and covered 3 straight after that terrible loss to the Raptors. They've bounced back. Knicks, Pelicans, Bucks, beating good basketball teams too, especially the last 2 games, New Orleans and Milwaukee. So it's 2 streaking teams. Very difficult for me from a side perspective to get involved here in this game. I think you can make a case for points in this game. Atlanta has gone over the total, 6-2 in their last 8 games. It's a Jazz team that offensively, man, they've got it going right now, whether it's Conley, whether it's Lowry Markkanen. They have 6 players in double figures for the season on average. So they're getting balance, inside scoring, outside scoring. It's been really good to see. We know Atlanta's defense can sometimes come and go. And Utah defensively, the last couple of games, they've not nearly been as good. They gave up nearly 50% shooting to the Lakers, 50% to Dallas, nearly 50% to the Clippers, and nearly 50% again to the Lakers on Monday. So the Utah defense is kind of fallen off a little bit. And as Dan Kelly mentions, when you play 9 games in 15 days, you're not going to be able to bring that same defensive energy. And I think you're seeing that now with Utah playing such a shit ton of games in a short period of time, which could explain why Atlanta's taking the money. But I'm done trying to bang my head against the wall, pound my fucking head against the wall, bet against Utah. I'm staying off it until I see signs that this team's coming back down to earth. But I am betting the over in this game. I like points. I like it to go over the total, 228 and a half. Dutch, what do you think? Jazz Hawks.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Sam Comer. I see my man Don play. All love. Yeah, this game, man, I really want to be on Utah here. I think Star Child said it too, but I want to be on Utah first half here. Just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I think this is kind of a letdown spot here for the Atlanta Hawks. Obviously, the first game, they put, tough overtime game with the Pelicanos with the takeoff, first game back in Atlanta. And then obviously having this Milwaukee game. They went in there and put it on Milwaukee without Trae Young. So two big games, and now they got Utah coming in. And these Utah boys, man, they play with a chip. Yeah, they played a lot of games, but they got a lot of dudes, man. They got a lot of dudes that can put the ball in the bucket. I like the way these boys play, from confidence the coaches instilling in them. There's no way I'm looking at Atlanta here, and I would, if I have to bet this game, it'd be first half. I'll tweet it out if I get there. I want to look into a little more. Obviously, Trae Young's questionable as well. From Atlanta's perspective, I look at Murray, man. He should do whatever he wants, though, really. And I like that dude a lot. So, obviously, if Trae Young's not in the lineup, he'll be even more ball dominant. But, yeah, I'd have to look Utah here first half. I like the way they play basketball, and I think a little bit of a letdown spot for the Hawks.
Yeah, definitely. If you're liking a prop for Utah, the hot hand lately has been Jordan Clarkson, 22-20, 23-22. Last 4 games for Utah. That's a prop that interests me tonight for the Jazz side of things. Jordan Clarkson's been filling up the bucket the last 4 games. Billy, what do you like here?
Man, with the Trae Young questionable, I mean, that's the story of this game. I mean, if Trae Young's out, you want to be on Murray. If Trae Young's in, you kind of want to be on the Hawks. So, I mean, backwood till we get some Trae Young news.
go. We'll wait to see if that's always the key with Atlanta when he's questionable like it is here. It's hard to move forward until you know if he's in or out for sure. All right, Memphis and San Antonio. Next up, the Grizzlies 5.5-point road favorites, 234 is the total in this game. It's been it's actually the Memphis, to be honest, 7-4. They're showing signs. Definitely the last few games they won 3 in a row, had that streak snapped in a close home loss to Boston on Monday. It was actually not a bad performance considering it was back-to-back for the Grizzlies. Only lost by 3 to the Celtics in that game. We'll see if they can keep it going here in this one against San Antonio, who suffered a few ugly losses there, especially the Denver loss was really bad, the first of the 2. The Toronto game was terrible, but the Denver game last time out, they were a lot more competitive, 115, 109 going into this game. You look at it, you've got a top 5 offensive team in Memphis, 29th in points per game allowed are the Spurs. And here's another situation where you've got a Memphis team that from the perimeter is shooting 38.2%, 8th in the NBA, 25th worst three-point defense, San Antonio. So that's definitely something that would concern me going into this game. I like the way things are going a little bit here for the Grizzlies. San Antonio does have a little bit of a situation where the rest advantage is greater. Like they've had their games spread out. Memphis is now playing their 3rd game in 4 nights here. So a little bit more of a maybe fatigue situation for Memphis. That's the one concern. But I'm going to go with a split over here. Full game over and Memphis team total over 119.5. Don't do this very often, but I'm going to split it up between the two because I can always get concerned the Spurs can hold up their end of the bargain when it comes to points. So I'm going to split it up, half on the full game over, 234, half on the team total for the Grizzlies, because I think that 3-point shooting of Memphis could really be a problem tonight for San Antonio defensively. Dutch, anything here, Memphis, San Antonio?
Yeah, our guy Abel's 19-5 on the NBA props, asking for some props too. Well, shit, props to you on that, my man. But yeah, this game, this might be the one. And you know, to see it in the chat, AOD says bang over points, and then our guy LJ says he likes Morant over 7.5 assists. So I believe some good. Our shout out to our guy Joe Osborne on Twitter has some great stats backing up bang over points. Take a look at that. I definitely think this is a prop game. My man Ian touched on how bad this fucking defense is for San Antonio, especially from a perimeter perspective. So I look for John Morant and Desmond Bane to do whatever the fuck they want from start to finish. But yeah, I'm not betting this basketball game.
Billy, what do you like here?
Yeah, props wise, I kind of like it on the Spurs side of the ball, man. The books are kind of caught slipping on this one. I feel like Devin Vessel over 2.5 3-pointers, minus 148. He's hit this in 6 straight games, and he's only played 7 games this season, so 6 out of 7 games he's hit that so far this season. And Keldon Johnson over 2.5 3-pointers, minus 148. He's hit that in 8 out of 10 games played this season. So kind of like the 2 Spurs guys to get it done from the 3-point line. Those props are really low.
All right, Phoenix, Minnesota. We've got the Timberwolves now, 1.5-point home favorites, 222 the total. All right. I gave the Phoenix Suns the other night a chance to show me that, hey, we're not going to go to the East Coast on a road trip and shit the bed again like we did last year. And sure enough, first game of the road trip, there's Philadelphia taking care of business against them. I'm not backing them tonight. I'm not. I mean, I've got this has got that. I've got those memories of last year again, where they went on this road trip to the East and they got steamrolled. And you kept wanting to bet them when they lost the previous game on the road trip, and they lost again. That's what I keep thinking of. And you're seeing all the money, by the way, come in here on Minnesota as the Suns opened a 3-point road favorite, and now the Timberwolves are favored 1.5 here at home. Chris Paul being out, the main reason for that. You've got Cam Johnson. Also downgraded to out for the Phoenix Suns as well. They usually have some quality, solid depth, but obviously 2 key pieces out there. Minnesota also, when you look at this scheduling situation, they've been both teams off yesterday. Everybody off yesterday, but they both played Monday. But Minnesota obviously stays at home. Phoenix has to travel a little bit. And, you know, for me, it's just I've got memories of how the Suns just laid an egg on the road trip they had in the East last year and got off to a bad start, obviously, against Philadelphia. Phoenix had beaten Minnesota back on November 1st when they played at home, 116-107, but it was a competitive game. This is a pass for me. If you got Minnesota early, you might be on the right side. I'm not going to lay 1.5 now. But I'm leery about Phoenix after seeing what I saw against the 76ers the other night. Dutch, how about you? Phoenix, Minnesota.
Yeah, man. This could be another prop game. Honestly, I don't want to bet Minnesota here, but there's no way I would be backing, the Phoenix Suns here. JPZ, I see you, my man. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, this game though, I think Mikal Bridges should have a good game here. Honestly, I like Devin Book too as well, but without CP, without Cam Johnson, my man Mikal Bridges averaging 15 a game, shooting lights out from three. Nothing that Minnesota really thinks that he won't be open in that corner, be able to move the ball a little bit. They're obviously going to need a little bit more output from him. So I would look for Mikal Bridges, probably 3-point prop and points prop here in this game.
It's been a problem for the thing is too with Minnesota, like you're now having to lay points with them, and we know who the better team is. It's Phoenix.
Right.
That's the thing, and now you got to lay a point and a half. I'm not doing that with Minnesota. I mean that was a sorry performance for them, sorry ass performance against New York Monday night, 120-107 on your home floor, and they've only beaten Houston in their last 5 games. Knicks a loss, Milwaukee a loss, Phoenix a loss, even San Antonio they lost to them on the road. So this Timberwolves team. They really try to stock up, make this a team that could be a force in the Western Conference. I haven't seen it yet. They're only 5-6, and the Rudy Gobert edition hasn't exactly panned out yet. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, probably would say the Timberwolves, but they're just a no bet on team for me right now. Cameron Payne's point prop is at 13.5. I definitely think he can get like 15, 16 points in this game. That seems like pretty low. But kind of like a backwood for this one.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a tricky game here. Milwaukee and Oklahoma City, with Milwaukee 1.5-point road favorites, 212.5 the total in this game. Oklahoma City, even though their record is 4-6, they've been a feisty group this year. They really have. I mean, they've been a tough out most nights. Even in the losses, you've seen some battle from this team. Now, the last 3 games, they've stumbled 0-3, both straight up in ATS. You look at this team, they just rely so heavily on SGA offensively, and he's been remarkable. I mean, 30.8 points per game. He's doing everything he can. I mean, he's had some big nights, 38, 34, 37, 33 scored in 4 of the last 5 games for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But at some point, he needs a little help. And oftentimes he doesn't consistently get that. Milwaukee, you look at the situation for them. They lost to Atlanta 117-98. Finally, first loss of the year for the Bucks. We'll see how they respond tonight in this game against OKC. They do have a game against San Antonio on Friday after this. But more concerning for the Bucks here is obviously Giannis, the Greek freak. Giannis Antetokounmpo out with the knee issue, still without Pat Connaughton, still without Chris Middleton, Joe Ingles, and also out Drew Holiday tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. Ankle injury, won't suit up tonight. So no Giannis, no Drew Holiday, still without Chris Middleton. I mean, all of a sudden, that is a much weaker Milwaukee team, but it also explains why they're only 1.5-point road favorites now in this game. So this is a pass for me at the current number. I think if you got in early with OKC, I like your bet. I like your position. But now at 2, I mean, not going to chase bad numbers at this point. The under probably makes sense as well. I don't know where the points are going to come from with Milwaukee missing who they're missing. And obviously OKC, they haven't exactly gotten people stepping up for them outside of SGA. What do you think here, Dutch? OKC hosting Milwaukee.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Spence. I see you, man. Liking the SGA, man. That boy's a stud. I like anything with SGA's name on it. So I'll second that. El Dorado, my man. Good to see you, my man. Hashtag free big happy. I dig that, my man. I dig that. DK, I see you, bro. This game, though, I would look at Bobby Portis, props, probably rebounds, points, maybe you can get a good value on a double-double here. And then, of course, SGA, man. He's nice, man. So I like where Spence is going with that. But, yeah, you missed the boat on OKC here, I believe.
And that's what we're going to have. Like, we do this show like 3 hours before the card begins, and you're going to get games like this where the guys are sitting out and the best of it's gone. And long term, you don't want to be chasing the bad numbers. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, this ain't it for me, man. This is a backwood of a game. I mean, Bobby Portis' rebounds are at 13.5, double-double at minus 750. Like,
Oh shit! Did I say no? I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Billy.
No, the books are giving you shit on this one, man. Fuck this game,
Oh,
man.
shit.
They should have given us the news last night. I would have been on the Thunder. I mean, like, the only move you could do is bet the Thunder money line, and at that point, I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't realize this shit was juiced up like that, man.
That was wow.
Forget what I said. Fuck all that shit. Back with that motherfucker. Goddamn it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, again, that's what we basically were at. We were. This game is the example of when you go to the buffet table and you think you've got all the big portions there. The main entrees are still there, but you get there and it's nothing but breadcrumbs and scraps. That's what we got here with this Milwaukee Oklahoma City game. Nothing left of that appeals to us. All right, New Orleans and Chicago. We've got the Pelicanos here, 2-point road favorites, 232 being the total. In this game, the Pelicans looking to bounce back from a 129-122 loss Monday night to the suddenly streaking Indiana Pacers. Chicago, they played back-to-back with the Raptors. They lost in Toronto on Sunday, bounced back on Monday night, and beat the Raptors, pretty much led them wire to wire, 111-97 in that game. Third game in 4 nights now for the Bulls. It is worth noting that. As far as the injury situation go, we know New Orleans, you've had to check a lot of games where CJ and Ingram, Herbert Jones have all been questionable, but they're all in tonight. It looks like they're good to go. Still no Lonzo Ball or Kobe White for the Bulls, although Zach LaVine has recently come back for them. I like New Orleans here. Short price, good team, better team in my opinion, better defensive team off a loss to Indiana, so I think focus is there. I'll take the Pelicans here. I'll go money line here in this game with them at -130. What do you think here, Dutch? Pelicans, Bulls?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Dabby Cab. I see you, my man, Anderson in the building. Joe Chris. Yeah, this game is another one like Utah. I wanted to get on Utah first half. Haven't pulled the trigger here yet. And I'm looking at the Pelicanos as well off that loss. They let me down a little bit, but I guess, the proof was in the pudding pregame there. I was just on the wrong side there. But, yeah, I would look for them to bounce back. I think I see this game, Big Val having just a game. Vooch is not Big Vooch. He thinks he's a big dude, but he don't play big, especially on the defense end against a real big. I think Big Val should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants in there. And then outside of that, they really have nothing. Zion, B.I., I mean, these are bad matchups for the Chicago Bulls. So I wouldn't be surprised if I do have a bet here on the Pelicanos. Short number here. Not very happy with the way they play basketball here so far on the road trip, but I do believe they're a better team than the Chicago Bulls, and they have quite a bit of games here in a row as well. So maybe rebounding here comes the edge. I give that to the Pelicanos as well. So I might have to load up here on a unit, I should say, on these Pelicanos today.
All right, liking the Pelicanos here, Billy. How about you, Pels and Bulls?
Yeah, man, I'm liking the Pelicans too, man. Pelicans #1 points in the paint team this season, so that's a good spot for Joe Val and Zion, especially without Drummond too. I don't think Vooch is out here guarding both of them like that. Zion point prop over 23.5 points, has hit 5 out of 8 games. Chicago allowing the 4th highest field goal percentage at the basket. 73% of Zion's shots are inside the paint. So on paper, it says either Zion or Joe Val. So roll the dice. Which one do you like more? I like the Pelicans money line here. First half of it back-to-back, I believe, though, for the Pelicans. So I don't know, man. I kind of want to lean the Pelicans money line, though.
Yeah, that's something worth keeping in mind here about this game. Is you're right. New Orleans plays tomorrow night, home game against Portland. So, but I think it went tonight though. They'll be. I just think you're right. They got matchup advantages. They're better defense. I can't trust the Bulls' defense one game to the next. They should have an advantage with that size and length in the front court, New Orleans. And I think still you get a nice bounce back type of performance from them tonight. All right, speaking of bounce back performances, Cleveland. They haven't lost many games, but they did lose last time out against the Clippers on Monday night. We'll see if they can bounce back on the road in Sacktown against the Kings. We got Cleveland 4.5 point road favorites here. 227.5 being the total in this game. It looks like for Cleveland tonight, it's everybody. Remember, the starting backcourt is intact again with Garland and Mitchell both back. LeVert, Mobley, Allen. You've got your whole starting 5 ready to go. No injuries to speak of for the Sacramento Kings. Finally, a fully healthy roster. So I guess now is the time we're going to see what the Kings are fully made of now. And I got to be honest, they're playing better here since they've gotten everybody on the floor and accounted for. They beat Miami at home. They beat Charlotte on the road, win and cover. Hang tough against Miami on the road last week. They beat Orlando in overtime after that. And then against Golden State the other night. And look, I thought it was going to be Golden State ready to smack down this Sacramento team. And Sacramento hangs in there, only loses by 3, 116-113 to Golden State on Monday night. So, look, I am still I'm still not betting against Cleveland. That's just not happening. This team's been so good, 8-2, both straight up in ATS this year. But, Sacramento, I've got to give them their due. They're playing better. I would only take Cleveland here, but they finally lost. Let's see how they respond. Does this start a little, regression, if you will, because they've played great? Is this a sign that Clippers lost, that things are going to level off just a little bit for the Cleveland Cavaliers? This is still, to me, a very good basketball team. Clearly, I think a team that could end up being, in the top 5 in the East at seeding wise come playoff time. But when you finally lose a game when you've been playing so well, sometimes it could have you stumbling and going back in the other direction. For me, it's still Cavs or pass, but I'm pumping the brakes a little bit tonight. And I like what I see, believe it or not, from Sacramento lately with De'Aaron Fox and the redheaded stepchild, Kevin Huerter, and having everybody healthy for this team, Keegan Murray, Sabonis and company. They played pretty well. And look, he is not, a second coming of Red Auerbach or Phil Jackson necessarily from a coaching standpoint here for the in terms of the coaching situation. But nevertheless, I have to say, that Mike Brown is still a significant upgrade from the 2 clowns who were here before, Gentry and, of course, Luke Walton. So, I know Mike Brown has his detractors, but that's still a better option to lead this team from a coaching standpoint than what they've had previously. So we'll see how this goes. But there's something in my gut saying, Ian, you want to bet Cleveland. They're off a loss. They've been your meal ticket so far. And the voice inside my head saying, don't do it. That this could be maybe they're going to go in a little bit of a rut here. We'll see. And I like the way Sacramento's playing. So I lean Cleveland, but I'm probably going to pass. Dutch, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I like me some De'Aaron Fox. I do. I just don't like him tonight, to be honest with you. I got to go with the Cavs here off a loss. And I think, like my man NetsBed said, there's levels to this shit, man. And I do like what the Kings are doing, but these are Cleveland Cavaliers, man. They're a real deal basketball team. I believe they're another level than the Sacramento Kings. DK says 4th game of the road trip here for the Cavs. Off a loss, though, and I simply believe they're going to outwork these boys. They play defense, which the Sacramento Kings do not. And they rebound the basketball, which the fucking Sacramento Kings have a little bit of trouble doing. So, and they rebound the basketball at a very high level. I expect Jarrett Allen and Mobley to simply be the difference maker at rebounding the basketball and protecting the paint. I don't think they'll protect the paint on the Sacramento side. I believe Cleveland will get what they want, and it'll be a little bit more difficult for De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and them boys to run the fuck around. So give me Cleveland here -4. And it's kind of, I know Kings have been playing well, but they're 1-8 straight up last 9 at the house. They do not protect home court. 4-9 straight up last 15 overall. They're playing better basketball, but we're getting the Cavs here at a solid number off a loss. Give me them all day. I think Allen and Mobley are the difference maker here, and obviously Mitchell and Garland will do their thing.
All right, excellent stuff. There we go. That's Cleveland and Sacramento. Oh, Billy, what do you like here? Cleveland, Sacramento.
Yeah, man. Fuck Cleveland off of that last game, man. I was on them against the Clippers in that last game.
Me too, my friend. Me too.
Dude, man, that shit fucked me up, man, because I was like, all right, we good, man. We up 15, 2 minutes left. I take my ass to sleep late night, woke up and looked at my FanDuel account and was like, the fuck's going on? I didn't bet no soccer, no overnight shit, no fucking tennis, no nothing. And then I saw the Bad Beats thing on ESPN shortly after, and then said Cleveland Cavaliers loses a 14-point lead, 2 minutes left. Fuck that, man. I can't be fucking with them.
3 wrong calls, too. 3 wrong calls, though. That, my man Nesbeth said something about, these Kings been robbed with the hero thing and then the foul the other night with the calls. But they came out and said they had 3 wrong calls in that late fourth quarter, all favored for the Clippers in that game, which is pretty fucking ridiculous because I was also took an L in that game as well.
Yeah, I mean, all that they did was add fuel to the fire. There's some people I know that firmly believe the NBA can be rigged at times. And when you see shit like that happen, it's, man, that's that. You're right. Those were some ticky-tack fouls that were being called against Cleveland in that game, especially down the stretch. So not to have sour grapes, but, I mean, they got a little bit of a bad whistle during that game, the Cavaliers. Speaking of the Clippers, who got the good whistle, here they are in the last game of the night here. LA Lakers, LA Clippers. Man, has this battle lost its luster. Clippers are a mediocre mess. Lakers suck. I mean, this used to be something you must watch television. Lakers versus the Clippers. Now it's just whatever. We got the Clippers here, 3-point home favorites, 219 and a half being the total in this game. I mean, just when we think the Lakers are starting to, they had that little couple of games there, right? Denver and New Orleans in overtime. They beat the Pelicans. And I'm like, a little life for the Lakers. They've done absolutely jack shit ever since. Jack shit ever since. 3 straight losses, straight up in ATS. 14-point loss to Utah. 14-point loss to Cleveland. An even worse loss at Utah in the last game, 139-116. The Ole defense is back in full force for the Lakers the last few games. I haven't been able to stop anything. You're looking at every game. There's a different starting 5 because of the injuries. It looks like Schroeder's out. Thomas Bryant's out. Lonnie Walker's a game-time decision tonight for the Lakers. Anthony Davis looks like he's going to play. So this should be a game where both LeBron and AD are on the floor for the Lakers. But at the same time, do you want to lay 3 with the Clippers? I mean, we're talking about the Clippers team that's won 4 of their last 5. But, even the games against the bad teams, Houston and San Antonio, 2-point win, 8-point win, 7-point win. They're not winning games comfortably. Of course, it was a down-to-the-wire win against Cleveland. This is just one of those games where it feels like pick your poison. You want to lay points with the mediocre Clippers? Not really. Do you want to take the Lakers at all right now? Not really. So leaves me probably out of this game. What do you think, Dutch? Lakers, Clippers?
Yeah, man, I'm on the Clippers, man. Here, this is the fate of the Lakers. Realistically, I think the Clippers match up very well with them. They got all the wings and shooters, and motherfucking LA Lakers got none of them. So, and of course, they have a little slight in the bigs. All they got is Zubac, and after that, it's really nothing. So, when you look at the LA roster, they got Day-to-Day Davis and nothing after that. So, I mean, you heard the interview after that shellacking they got by Utah. He's pretty much saying they're asking him to do too much. He needs a big guy, is what he's telling you straight up. He's saying he needs a JaVale McGee, a Dwight Howard. He wants it, and he's not happy that he don't have it. And until shit changes and they switch up that roster, we got to take advantage of these small numbers. I mean, how the fuck these numbers just is too small for me. I know it's the Clippers, but you touched on it. They have won 4 of the last 5 basketball games. Not in great fashion, but they're winning basketball games. This number is pretty low, only 3, and not to mention they smack around the motherfucking Lakers. They beat them 8 straight times. 8 straight motherfucking times they beat them, and the Lakers 1-8 against the spread last 9 meetings versus these boys. I think Reggie Jackson should be able to do what he likes. I believe Zubac will be big in this game. Look for PG to, show that he's a star of LA as well, So I believe that it's just a little bit different. Norman Powell, Covington, give me these boys, man. They got a better roster, a better coach, and there's something that they step up when they come to the Lakers. Because let's remember, they're like the little stepchild out there in LA. So they take this game a little different. As you can tell, they beat them 8 motherfucking times in a row. Give me the Clippers -3. It's good money.
So you don't want to ham it up with Darvin? Dutch, Darvin Ham, yeah, not doing it.
Go ham on his ass. That's right, Darvin. About to go ham.
Yeah, I can't say this is a leaps and bounds upgrade from Vogel. That's for sure from a coaching standpoint.
And I like Ty. I like Lou. You say what you will right now. They got a lot of boys over there, but we know Ty Lue can coach basketball.
Yeah, no, Ty Lue is, like I say, it's been a tough start, but I'm still waiting, and we're really waiting for Kawhielchair. As we've been calling him to get out there. Kawhi Leonard, I mean, it's almost like with Darren Waller in the NFL with the Raiders. It's like, could you get on the fucking field and play, please? Please, just once. That's all I'm asking. What do you think here, Billy?
Avicii Zubac. Double plus 122 tonight. Shit goes well tonight, and the money rolls over. We're rolling it over on Zubac, man. Best game of the season for Zubac was the first game of the season versus the LA Lakers. He had 14 points and 17 rebounds. All we need is a double-double from Zubac. The sketchy part probably be the points, though. Not going to lie, Zubac be doing some bullshit sometimes, but double-double here for Zubac is the way I'm going to go here.
I like that.
There we go. Double for Zubats here for the LA Clippers. Billy liking that prop here tonight in this game. All right, there you go. That is the Wednesday card, a huge, huge slate. There we go. And it's a good thing we've got under an hour because word from the boss man, Jeff Slaughter, is we're expanding college basketball show Net Profit, which is coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern, to Monday to Friday. We were going to do it initially just 3 days a week, but it's now going to be Monday to Friday. And there is a show today. It's coming up in 10 minutes. It'll be Dabby Cab and Connor Mack today on the college basketball Net Profit show, 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you stay tuned for that right after the NBA Pub Hub. And I'll be on with Connor on that show tomorrow and Friday as well. So Monday to Friday now, we've got you covered every weekday now for the College Hoops show as well, in addition to what you see here with the NBA Pub Hub right before it at 4 p.m. Eastern. 265 live viewers. Hit that like button. Let's see you guys roll it up here. Let's see you guys run up this like count. 51 likes.
51? This motherfucking respectful, Babano. Come on, man. Run it up, man. We got Billy Briz in the motherfucking building giving you some motherfucking good nuggets. Let's go. Come on. Jay Peasy, Joe Chris, Anderson, all y'all motherfuckers. Let's go. Hit the motherfucking like button. It's the first step to getting finer things in life.
The percentage of likes should be at least 50% of the number of viewers tuning in. At least 50%. So we should be at 135 right now, at least. 51 is ridiculous, guys. Come on. Hit that like button.
I didn't even back with that much shit today.
Let's go. Let's get it going here. Do you want best bets? Come on. Hit that like button. There we go. That's better. I'm starting to see it go up now. There we go. Good stuff. See, for what we give you, we run through every single game. Look at it. It's up to 80 already. See what it does?
Let's get that bitch to a hundo. A clean hundo, real quick like.
Yep, exactly. Hit that like button. We appreciate it very much. And shout out to those who have signed up for the channel as well. $4.99 a month, 18 cents a day. It's well worth it. Become a member here with the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. All right, we got best bets coming up from me, from Billy, and of course, freshest look from Dutch right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, and manscaped.com. Promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase from anything at manscaped.com using the promo code PubSports. Let's get it with best bets here for this Wednesday edition of the show. Dutch, let's start with you with freshest look.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. Well, we got to go to motherfucking L.A. They gonna come out to play. Believe that, man. We're gonna get the Clippers, man. They're gonna fade the motherfucking. We gotta fade the motherfucking Lakers. Clip them up. -3. That's good money.
There you go. LA Clippers -3 against the LA Lakers. Freshest look for Dutch in that one. The late night affair with the Battle of LA. All right, Billy Briz, what are you thinking? Your first Wednesday on the Pub Up. Best bet. What do you like?
Best bet for me, we're going to go to Disneyland, and we're going to take Dallas Mavericks first quarter, -2.5, -110. Favorite prop of the day is going to be Julius Randle over 29.5 points and rebounds.
There we go. Awesome. There we go. Some prop best bet looks there for Billy for a Wednesday. And my best bet is going to be, and this is a clear best bet. Like there's things I like, but there's nothing I like more than the New Orleans Pelicans here, -130 against the Chicago Bulls. A great bounce back situation, I think, for the Pels, and I think they get it done tonight in the Windy City. New Orleans, -130 money line against the Chicago Bulls for best bet for me for this Wednesday edition of the NBA Pub Hub. That's a wrap. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Again, hit that like button. We've got college basketball, net profit, right here on Pub Sports Radio coming up next with Connor Mack and Dabby Cab. Make sure you hang around for that. They'll get you ready for college hoops. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. It'll be tomorrow. Dutch hosting tomorrow along with Derl and Ski Profit. So join us tomorrow, NBA Pub Hub, 4 p.m. Eastern. Of course, I'll be back, and Billy will be back too on Friday with Ski here on the show. For Billy Briz, for Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the return of the NBA after a night off. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again tomorrow for another edition of the NBA Pub Up right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to them real ones holding us down in the chat. Abel, Matt, Stoney, Alfonso, Tasha, Tiffany. Y'all like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.